going on, Jerome's? So the major storyline around the Minnesota Vikings this week is Kirk Cousins playing at MVP level. Big reason why the Vikings got off the mat going down for the season with a torn Achilles, successful surgery, and it does seem like Kirk Cousins and Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell want to keep the band together next year, but there's still a full season to be played. Well, half a season. You know what I mean. And like Kevin O'Connell said, they're not going to stop this season just because the Vikings had an injury and they got to soldier on. Right now they're 4-4, wanting some more. They got a soft part of the schedule coming up, but every single game is tough in the National Football League, and the Vikings, they have a chance to potentially turn the page. And a lot of the storylines this week are about the trade for Josh Dobbs, who started the first 8 games of the season with the Cardinals. And yes, I think Dobbs has some potential, but option numero one should be rookie 5th-round pick Jaren Hall out of BYU. Go Cougars. That's right. All that stuff, man. I think that Jaren Hall is walking into a fantastic situation given the Vikings O-line, given that JJ is almost back. Addison is a star. KJ, all he does is catch first downs. Hawkinson is there. The defense is rising up. And Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips hopefully will tailor the game plan to him. And he got some baptism by fire against the Packers, made a couple of nice throws, put in some kind of rough situations. Kevin O'Connell backtracking, like reverse engineering, saying is like, we're just testing him. I don't know, man. I don't know. But the question is going to be who's going to be the guy the rest of the year. I don't think it's going to be Nick Mullins, who's still on IR with a back issue. I obviously don't think it's Sean Mannion. But will Jaren Hall rise up and be the future franchise of the Vikings? Hopefully. But Josh Dobbs is a solid backup option. But Jaren Hall, I think he's got a lot going on for him, and he met with the local media jackals on Wednesday, was very impressive there, and I think that there is certainly a lot to like about the former BYU Cougar, and I think that will carry over to the field. And I mean, of course, there's a lot to like: the maturity, the attitude, live arm. Like we saw all of this in training camp. You almost have to take the preseason tape though and throw it out the window, where he got zero protection from the second and third team offensive line. The weapons were whatever, and you could be like, well, he's playing against backups, but he's playing with backups. But now he's stepping into a tier 1 offense in a perfect situation with Kirk Cousins in the meeting rooms with him. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. So 5 things that Jaren Hall brings to the table. Number 1, maturity, humility, and him being a leader. So, I mean, we saw this at rookie training camp, but we said it at the time, where he was a guy who stepped in and I mean, there are some perks for being a 25-year-old rookie. It was clear that he was the leader at rookie camp, and he organized things. He got guys together, and I think that it's a huge asset. And there's a big difference between being a guy who's 25 years old, married, has a kid, 2-time team captain at BYU, served 2 years on a Mormon mission. That's why he's a little bit older coming in on top of the Rona season in 2020. Versus a 21-year-old pimple-faced kid who was the big man on campus, 5-star, 17-star recruit, manning passing camp, and just had his ass kissed the entire time. No, this is a guy who's earned everything that he's got, and also he knows what he doesn't know. Like you can tell when he talks in interviews. You can tell his demeanor on the sidelines, looking back at his BYU tape. Like he's open to coaching, and he doesn't think that he's too smart for the room, which is great. Also, people point out him working after practice, both in training camp as well as during the season, and you don't see many rookie 5th-round picks, quarterback 3s coming into the season putting in work after practice. You simply do not. Number 2, arm strength and accuracy. Now that's very clear. So he was a center fielder on BYU. So of course, every single throw, throwing him out at the plate, like Raul Mondesi style. He played right field. Doesn't matter. But he loves chucking it deep. His career ADOT was 10.8 yards, so average depth of target was 10.8. For comparison, Bryce Young's career at Alabama was 9.4. C.J. Stroud, with all his weapons at Ohio State, was only 10.3. So, I mean, also, Jaren Hall made Puka Nacua. No big deal. No big deal, man. But he loves throwing vertically. He loves the deep corner routes. He loves the back shoulders. He loves comebacks. All throws that are very translatable to the NFL game. Like, this is not him just racking up and stacking up stats in a horizontal college offense. No, he likes throwing the ball vertically, and it's a big part of his game. And frankly, he probably shouldn't have been the 11th quarterback taken. Maybe he should have been a little bit higher. Number 3, takes care of the football. So this can be a double-edged sword because you can take care of the football to the detriment of the offense where you're too afraid to throw anything, right? But 31-6 touchdown interception ratio his senior year. And he is going to make rookie mistakes, yes, but he's also not scared to take a profit, take what the defense is giving you. Will need to work on throwing guys open, but that's basically every rookie quarterback coming into the National Football League. But he's... Yes, rookie will make mistakes, but you're not really going to see him just throwing it to air. You're not going to see some of the completely silly mistakes that you see some of the more careless rookie quarterbacks make. Number 4, very dangerous off of play action. So he completed 67.5% of his passes off of play action last year for 1,168 yards, 16 touchdowns, and a 122.4 quarterback rating, which is good. It's pretty damn good. That's the NFL quarterback rating on the scale of 1 to 58.3, not the NCAA quarterback rating, which I actually think that there's no maximum number on that. Like, it could go into infinity, but it's whatever. But I think that him coming off of play action, I actually think that his mobility will open things up in the running game. Also, his threat to run is fantastic as well, and I think that's really going to open things up downfield for vertical shots to Addison, to JJ, to KJ, to TJ, to all the J's. Sons of Anarchy are going to be in business with the new prez of the MC, and he is, that threat to run combined with a third level arm. It's beautiful, man. Lastly, mobility. So, when was the last time, Joe Webb aside, when was the last time the Vikings actually had a mobile quarterback? I mean, Dante could run, except he was more of like a Big Ben, Cam Newton type runner, but like legitimate running quarterback. Where, although I will say this, like Jaren Hall is not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback who can run, one of those guys. And he ran for 800 yards and 9 touchdowns in 31 career college games at BYU. And he's a guy that will manipulate the pocket, and yes, it will take some getting used to the speed of the game and getting a feel for working with the first-team offensive line. We saw that against Green Bay with the strip sack on 3rd down, although Kevin O'Connell really did him no favors with that play call, but again, argument for another day, Monday morning quarterback. But what he does is that he manipulates the pocket, and he watches BYU tape. He slides out, and he's always looking downfield. Like, he's not one read, duck and run. He goes through his progressions, and if he needs to move, he'll move, but he's always looking downfield. And I mean, that's the great spot for JJ and Addison and KJ and TJ to make some plays off script. And that was the one knock against Kirk Cousins, but it's something that he improved on, was making plays off script. Like, Kirk is fantastic in terms of like reading sheet music if he was a musician, but ask him to play jazz, I like Jaren Hall smooth jazz. Ooh, Jaren Jazz Hall. We'll see, man. But I think there certainly is a lot to like. I think that his maturity is a plus. I think that his coachability is a plus. I think his mobility, arm strength for days, as well as accuracy is great. I think that it's awesome that he takes care of the football, unlike the guy that he replaced at BYU, Zach Wilson. So, I mean, it could be a lot worse. It certainly could be a lot worse, man. We're obviously didn't want to lose Cousins. I mean, Kirko was playing at an MVP level, and this really sucks, but I really like Jaren Hall coming out of BYU. I really liked him in camp, and I'm glad that he's getting his shot. Kevin O'Connell announced that he's going to start on Sunday, and frankly, I think that Hall should get at least a 4-game audition. So you got 2 road games, Falcons and Broncos, and then you got 2 home games, Saints and Bears, and then you're into the bye. And yes, the season is precarious right now at 4-4, wanting some more, but he needs to have a clear shot. Like, you can't base his projection and his spot in the future franchise off of 1 game. You just can't do that to a rookie. But see him over 4, see how he progresses as the QB1, getting all of the practice reps, and if you see market improvement, if you prove that he's the guy, absolutely keep rolling with him. But if he's not, and say the Vikings, well, don't even want to speak into existence, but say the Vikings are still alive, but a little bit deficient there at the bye week, switch to Josh Dobbs. Dobbs will have plenty of time, 6 full weeks to get into the offense before the road game, week 14 at the Raiders, and then just go from there. Man. So you're going to be good to go in that spot. And yeah, if things work out with Jaren Hall, great. But if they don't, and he starts complaining to the manager, Karen Hall. I mean, that's too easy. I'd like to speak to the manager of football. We'll see, man. But I'm very, very bullish on Jaren Hall. Also, they need to make these uniforms their full-time unis, and I will die on that hill, man. There you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Why Jaren Hall can be successful. 5 things that he brings to the table. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.